And just like that, the Champions League is back. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, so welcome. I do hope you're all having a fantastic day. So. Bayern versus Lazio. 4-1. 4-1 is the result of the first leg, with us scoring 4 away goals. How impressive is that? How impressive is that? You know, some may say that this tie is over. I would tend to... I would tend to agree. If I'm being completely honest, I would tend to agree. For Lazio to go through, they would have to score 4 goals. Because even if they were to score 3 goals, we still have even if Lazio were to score 3 goals without us scoring a single goal, they would still be out due to the away goal rule. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, you know what, right? This, first of all, I can see us concede 3 goals. But I can't see us not score. So, is this tie over? I'd say, honestly, if I were to give it a percentage, I'd probably say we are 99% through. But it still is 1%, and in football, anything is possible. One of my favorite games, probably my favorite game, actually, of the last... Actually, no, probably my favorite game of all time, if I'm being completely honest, is the Porto game. The game, us against Porto, where we were down, 3-1 as well? Ooh, no, not 4-1, 3-1 in the first leg away. And then we came home, we beat them in the Allianz Arena 6-1. I'm like, okay, all right. With the whole Bayern that never give up, I'm like, all right. So I'm going into this game today. I'm thinking, okay, we're basically through, but there might be a small chance, tiny little chance that, they might be able to do something. Now, for Lazio, I actually think Immobile is out. I'm not 100% certain on that, but I think he might be out. So if that's the case, my lips are dry. If Immobile is out, then it gets even harder for Lazio. But you know what? I will say this as well. We have not been good. We have not been good in majority of our games, but you know what? We are slowly... I hope I'm not jinxing it. Knock on wood. But we are slowly, very, very slowly, getting back to where we want to be, and that is to be good. Now, here's the thing as well. Like, we're not this season. Hopefully, it's just this season. But with this season, we've been a team that has been poor all season, except for the Champions League. In the Champions League, we actually showed up. So I'm hoping it's just for this season, because I don't want this to be the case for other future seasons, because it really is basically Real Madrid 2.0, where Real Madrid have been so bad in the Champions League, so bad in the Liga, but then suddenly, once Champions League, once they hear the champions, then suddenly they turn up. I don't want that to be us. I want us to actually play good football throughout the entire season. Bundesliga, the Pokal, Super Cup, anything, Champions League, everything. So I'm hoping that's the case with us. Now, in terms of our lineup, I'm actually not sure who's going to play. Obviously, the news is that Neuer is not going to play. He's sick. So Nubel will get the start. I don't really mind at all, to be completely honest. Nubel is good enough to start. So to me, that's not an issue in the slightest. Besides that, though, I don't think there's any changes. I'm trying to think, but besides that, I don't think there are any changes. So, like, a right back. Who do you play as a right back? Do you play Sa? I don't think so. I don't think so. Look, I would. I'm not gonna lie. I would. I really would. I'd play Sa. I'm not gonna lie. Would you play Sa? Would Flick play Sa? No. Would anyone else besides me play Sa? No, not happening, alright? So, Sa is not getting played. So, the question really is, who is the right back? Is it Pavard? Is it Schurrle? Pavard. I think we're going to go with it. We're going to go with our safe option. Pavard has started slowly getting into form. He's not there yet, granted, but, like, he's slowly getting better and better. So let's see how that all pans out. Let's see how that all goes. Give him that little bit of game time. Maybe by the end of the season, once hopefully the next round. Hopefully, if we make it to the next round, we should be making it to the next round. Hopefully, once that comes around, we will be doing significantly better. He will be doing significantly better. So, Pavard, our 2 centre backs. I want to see Schurrle. I really want to see Schurrle play, so I'd play Schurrle, the right-footed centre-back, and I would play Alaba as the left centre-back. Some of you may be saying, why Alaba? Alaba has been playing pretty much every single game, but the thing for me is that, like, we need the leadership. we need the leadership quality. It's not so much about his skill on the ball, which is obviously the big reason why Flick is playing him, but it's obviously defensively, Lucas Hernandez is better, but Alaba is significantly better on the ball. But the thing that Alaba has that really puts him over Lucas Hernandez, at least for now, is that leadership quality. Now, Lucas Hernandez, he really has that leadership kind of like in his gameplay, I guess, whereas Alaba has it outside of his gameplay. And the thing with us is that obviously as our defenders almost act like midfielders. They kind of dictate where we play. They kind of dictate where we pass to. And that's why someone as vocal as Alaba is going to be very beneficial in that area. You can tell him, okay, pass it to the left, pass it to the right, put it to the center, so on and so forth. So that's what he's needed for. He brings very much a stable game. So that's kind of what I would like to see him play as a left center back. He kind of gives that control of the game because of his voice, him shouting, which obviously Lucas Hernandez can't do because I'm assuming his German is not that good. I don't think I've ever heard him speak German, if I'm being completely honest. So yeah, and then as a left back though, I would play Lucas Hernandez. I'd play him as a left back. Yes, he doesn't offer that much offensively, but defensively he is that strong, and that's it. They will obviously come out to try and attack because that's the aim of the game. They need to score goals. They need to score 4 goals at minimum to go through. So that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. So I'd play Lucas Hernandez, have him shore up everything defensively from the left with Power shoring up everything defensively from the right. And then if Lazio come out too much, we can always counter through our wingers. We don't need fullbacks to counter in this case. So that's how I would play. Then in terms of our midfield, I think our midfield pretty much sets itself with Kimmich and Goretzka. I would personally really like to see Kimmich and I would like to see Goretzka and Rocha. Kimmich needs a little bit of a rest. Kimmich, obviously, when he came back from injury, at the end of last year, the first game against, I think it was Leverkusen, where he got the assist in the last minute to Lewandowski. Since then, since injuries, he's basically played every single game. So I think giving him a rest right now would be fine. And Goretzka is in fine form at the moment, whereas Kimmich, his form has kind of dropped. It's not as good as it was in the last couple of months. This month, it really hasn't. Well, this month, in the last 30 days, it really hasn't kicked off for him that much. Whereas for Goretzka, it really has kicked off. So I kind of would like to see Kimmich being given a rest, 1 or 2 game rest, and then him being rejuvenated and coming fully fit. Well, not fit. He is healthy, but him being at 100%, then come back to the squad. I think Rocha, this would be a great game for him. A game where our opponent, I'm thinking. That's my thing. I'm thinking whether I would play Rocha and Kimmich or Rocha and Goretzka. And the reason why I settled on Rocha and Goretzka is because Goretzka does a lot of the muscle work, and Rocha does that too. The thing that's actually kind of funny, because I feel like a lot of us, when we watched Rocha, when we scouted Rocha, it was more so his passing. That was the big thing that we all noticed. But at Bayern, really, his passing hasn't been that good, but his pressing has been excellent. So you kind of two very much press resistant. All right, now you've got 2 midfielders in Goretzka and Rocha who very much like to press. Goretzka is very press resistant in the fact that when he gets the ball, he doesn't try to overplay it. He just plays it simple. Instead of usually when you think of press resistant, you think, okay, I'm having the ball, someone is pressing me, I can just shift the ball very quickly and do the pass. But with Goretzka, it's very simple. He gets the ball, someone is pressing him, I'll just pass it backwards. I'll just pass it sideways. I don't need to play it forwards. I can just do it simple. I can keep it simple. My job isn't to play that wonderful pass. My job is to get the ball, win the ball, pass it to someone that has a better pass than me, and then move from there, basically. So, yeah, that's going to be Rocha's role today, which, again, he hasn't. Since he's been at Bayern, his pressing has been very good. His overall game has been very good, but his passing has actually let him down. So, I would do that personally. I would do that. I would, be like, okay, you know what, Rocha, in this game, I want you to create as well, or give it to more creative players. That kind of role. We don't really play with a defensive midfielder, so that doesn't matter. We play with 2 central midfielders, realistically. 3 really when you count Miller, I guess, but it depends how you look at it all. It really is a 4-3-3 rather than a 4-2-3-1, as a lot of people have been saying. It's not really a 4-2-3-1, because a 4-2-3-1 would indicate. Sorry, no, it's the other way around. It's the other way around. That's what I was thinking. We're not really playing a 4-3-3, you know, as you sometimes see, because we don't really have that register. Whereas we really have this attacking triangle with Thomas Müller at the front. So, yeah, I'd play Rocha. The question is obviously, will you play Müller? I think you have to. Because the thing about Müller, his strength is that he goes a lot into the half spaces. You know, so that's kind of where you need him to be in, like those half spaces, either on the right half space or on the left half space, which will give our fullbacks a lot more space out wide as well. Who would the wingers? I keep getting things mixed up today. Who would our wingers be? In my opinion, I would probably play Sané, considering his great form. And this gets difficult, right? This is difficult because I would play Sané and Gnabry, but if you play Sané and Gnabry, the question really arises. No, you know what? I will play Sané and Gnabry. Yeah, and I'll tell you why I was thinking, like, whether that's a good move or not. But I'd play Sané and Gnabry for one simple reason. Sané has been in excellent form, so I kind of want him to continue that streak. And Gnabry, when he's come on, has been great. So I kind of want him to, like, find his maximum level. And he's always good for Champions League games. So I kind of want him to get a goal, maybe get 2 goals or maybe an assist. To kind of like get his confidence up, you know, because he's been playing good, but he hasn't really been that productive. I say that when he scored 2 goals last game. Well, you get not last game, 2 games ago I think it was. But you get the point, right? You get the point. I want him to be a little bit more productive, which will raise his confidence, and then ultimately that will be good for him and us going further forward. The reason why I was a little bit hesitant there is because you look at Coman. Coman is a lot more defensive. He helps a lot more out, and he's a lot better in the counter. So that's what I was like thinking, do you play Coman, at Lazio or Comatus? But I think I'll go with, Gnabry and Sané, because as much as Lazio will attack us, we will control the game. Like, we will have majority of the possession in that game. We will control that game. So even if Lazio counter us or Lazio attack us, it will mainly be through counters, and that will mainly be through counters out wide, because, centrally we are very, very strong. So I was thinking, like, if you have Coman on the left, he helps out a lot defensively. So that would be a tremendous help. But you know what? No, I'll go with Sané and Gnabry, because I want those two. I want their offensive capabilities to really shine, and I want them to continue their current run. So that's my take on that. And obviously, a striker, I'd play Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting. Lewandowski, of course. I'd play Lewandowski. He's been rested a lot in the Champions League already, but I would like to see him now play every single game. Basically, get stat pad. That's what it is. I want him to stat pad. I want him to stat pad. Here's the thing, though, right? We should be through. We should be through. Some may say we should be resting more, considering, how close, not as close anymore, but how close Leipzig is to Bayern in the Bundesliga. I would say if the team bottles it at this stage in the Bundesliga, right, where we're currently, I think we're 2 points ahead. Now we are 4 points ahead, I think. I'm actually not sure. I haven't checked the table. Let me have a quick look. We are 4 points ahead. If we bottle this at this stage of the Bundesliga, if we truly bottle it, there are 9 games left in the Bundesliga. If we bottle this, if we actually F this up, and after having a 4-point lead and knowing that Leipzig are chasing us, then we deserve to lose, and that's just the way it is. So I forgot to give a score prediction, which I want to do. So my score prediction, first leg was 4-1. Let's go with a 4-1 again. 8-2 in aggregate. I think that'd be nice, especially considering that we're at home. We really are obviously the favourites. So I'm going with a 4-1 result, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, a 4-1 result, 4-1 victory at home. Who scores the goals? Who scores the goals? Great question. Great question. Lewandowski, Sane, Gnabry, Roja. Lewandowski, Sane, Gnabry, and Roja. 4 goals for Bayern. I don't actually know if Immobile plays. Immobile will score it. Just because that will, continue that debate. He'll score a penalty. Who will give that penalty away? Nubel. Ooh, that would make for an interesting narrative now, wouldn't it? Nubel will give that penalty away. IMO. So that's my prediction, ladies and gentlemen. For the other game, I'll talk about it very quick. I wasn't actually planning. That's why I went. So that's why I switched over to mobile, because I'm about to head out. I'm going for a jogger. But let's talk about the other game very, very quickly. Like, just a few seconds. I think Chelsea are the overwhelming favourite. I thought that when the tie was made. Once Tuchel took over, I've seen every single one of their games. Because, I think Tuchel, top 5 coach in the world. So when I see him get a new job, I'm like, okay, I need to watch every single game. Now, kind of very similar to Liverpool. When Klopp first took over at Liverpool, I think for like 3 seasons or so, I watched every single one of their games. Like every single game of theirs, if I didn't watch it live, I recorded it and then watched it after. Same thing with Chelsea now. With Tuchel taking over. Blame it on them being German. The German managers coming to the Premier League. I don't know. All right, maybe that's the case. But ever since Tuchel took over, overwhelming favorite. Now, obviously, they're missing Mason Mount as well as I think it's Jorginho. Yeah, is it Jorginho that got the card? Yeah, I think it's Jorginho and Mason Mount. Whether Tuchel will go with a 3, what are they going, like a 3-5-2, or whether he'll go with a 3-1. Well, it would be 3-2, wouldn't it now? A 3-2-5. Kind of a silly formation, but yeah. However he's setting up, I feel like he will. It's difficult to say because Atletico Madrid, they're a weird team. Like Atletico Madrid, they offer absolutely no danger. Like when I think of Atletico Madrid, because of how we played against them and how bad they were against us, we're like in the first leg we beat them 4-0, and I never felt any threat, especially considering that we're a team that always concedes a goal. I was like, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But then I think about the Madrid derby. I think about Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona. I think about Atletico Madrid versus Salzburg. And I'm just like, if these guys want to play, they can play. The issue is they have Simeone there, and he doesn't want to play. They have so much attacking talent, but they're just like, nah, we don't need to attack. Defense is the best. I don't understand how he's like the highest paid manager in the world, personally. Like, I think Simeone's wage is like 30 million a year, and like the next highest after him is like at 14 million. It's like, bro, how do you earn twice as much as anyone else? It doesn't make any sense. But that's not the point. When you're talking about salaries, I just think there should be a meritocracy in football, where like the better you are, the more you should get paid. The more you've won, most importantly, the more you should get paid. But that's a story for another time. Ladies and gentlemen. What I will say is this. I don't think there are many goals in this game. I think Atletico Madrid will actually try and play after like the 40th minute. After the second half, I think they'll actually come all out, guns blazing, and try and play. Everyone thinks of Atletico Madrid as a defensive team. The thing is, Chelsea right now is the defensively strong team. Chelsea is extremely solid. Not because they're like parking the bus or anything, but because they control the game. As they say, keeping the ball, attack is the best form of defense. They're very strong at that. I think Chelsea will actually win this game 1-0. Chelsea are not a team that will score many goals, and Atletico Madrid is not a team that will score many goals, so I think this game won't have many goals. But I think Chelsea is just better than Atletico Madrid. People may say, well, Atletico Madrid, they're overwhelming favourites. I'm like, have you seen Atletico Madrid play? It's like the same with PSG. PSG has been awful this season. But people, they'll talk, did you see what they did to Barcelona? I'm like, bro, have you seen what Barcelona has done? Like, come on, beating Barcelona, it's not that much of an achievement nowadays. Now, I think in 2 years' time, it may be seriously more difficult. I think Barcelona is on a good trajectory. But, like, as of right now, as of this season, I don't think they're that much of, like, a, wow, you beat them kind of thing, So PSG, I don't think they're that good. Atletico Madrid, I don't think I doubt. I think those two. Atletico Madrid, yeah, okay, we're leading La Liga. You were leading by like 10 points. Now you're suddenly it's a title race again because you've been bottling so much lately. I don't think there's any good team this season. Some may say City, and I could kind of agree with that. But then you also have to question the Premier League. Honestly, when your second team in the league is Manchester United, that has been this bad, then you really have to question the league. The Bundesliga is no better. You look at us, obviously, we've been bottling it very bad. Now I'm getting off a tangent, damn it. Now here comes my well, all leagues have been bad this season, so there's no actual good league. But hey, it's a fact, right? It's a fact. There has actually been no good team this league. Serie A, useless, useless. Liga, PSG is just terrible. Premier League, not really either. You've got two decent teams in City and Chelsea. Liverpool, their form, I mean, all over the place. They will say injuries, but no, it's not injuries. It's their form, the actual play. Because even if you have injuries at the back, that doesn't stop you scoring. That's just the fact of life. You know, Chelsea, since Tuchel took over, I think are decent, not great. They're not good attacking wise, so they're not a great team. But like, but City is like the only team in Europe where I can confidently say, okay, that team is good, but they still won't win the Champions League. It's crazy. They're the best team in Europe this season by far. Okay, maybe not by far. I think that there's a good argument to be made whether it's us or them. Defensively, we're just that. I said I won't talk about it anymore this season. I said I would not complain about our defense anymore this season, so I won't. I won't say a single word. But we terrible. But I think there's not that much of a difference between us and City. Honestly, I think if we played City, we'd go through. I just don't want to face City. And it has nothing to do with their form. It has nothing to do with Pep. It has nothing to do with their team. I don't care about that at all. In football, there are some weird things, and I don't know how to explain it, but I always bank on it. Which is why, like, when it comes to betting, you all know I'm a betting person. I'm generally quite good with the crazy bets. Not so much with like the safe bets, but with the crazy bets, I'm usually quite good because in football there are certain rules, and I don't know why, I don't know how, but they just are the way they are. One of those rules is when we play against Manchester City, we win one game, they win the next. It's like a 1-1 record. Even if you have a significantly better squad than them, a significantly better team than them, you know, we beat them 6-0 in the first leg, which doesn't happen, but like in the group stage usually, you know, if we beat them 6-0, we suddenly lose the second game. It doesn't matter what happens. Like, we could be the superior team by miles, but the second leg, we're just going to lose. The second game, we're just going to lose. So I don't like facing Manchester City because in a knockout game, you know, having that terrible record where like, oh, you win one, we win one, it's like, I don't like that. Other things like that in football are like us and Arsenal, you know, the 5-1 that everyone keeps harping on about. I've made plenty of money in that, honestly. I ain't gonna lie. Whenever we face Arsenal, I'm like, okay, 5-1 bet. Thank you. Thank you. Nice. But yeah, I mean, there are certain things in football. It's like the whole Germany and Italy thing. I found it out the hard way in 2006. Sometimes there are exceptions, like Germany doesn't lose on penalties. Well, until they do. But yeah, the way I see it, ladies and gentlemen, it's very, very simple. You give me any team in Europe, any team in Europe, and we beat them. Even Manchester City, we beat them. We go through. It would just be two games that I don't want to play because I know we'd win one and I know we'd lose over. There would be no draw. There'd be 2 victories, one for each team. Liverpool, we beat. Dortmund, we beat. Porto, we beat. PSG, we beat. Am I missing someone? I'm assuming Chelsea, we beat. Atletico, we've beaten. So, like, what am I supposed to be afraid of? What are we honestly supposed to be afraid of? You could say, well, we could definitely concede 5 goals against the team. Yeah, so what? We concede 5, we score 6? That's just our philosophy at the moment. That's just the way we play at the moment. So am I really that above it? No. Am I really that shook? No. Am I really that confused? No. I think it's very, very simple. Give me any team in Europe and we beat them. Nothing more needs to be said about that. So I'm looking forward to today's games. But I'm also looking ahead into the future. And the future tells me that the future is bright. Besides that, I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. This was supposed to be just a score, and I'm gonna end it. But I'll see you all for the game. Until then, have a nice day. Peace out.